J-Moore, the very best reviews. Tell them none can contest, we gon'
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. We're here. I got a couple special guests tonight. Larry Legend in the building. What's good, brother?
Oh, man, it's all good, man. I'm glad to be in the spot. You know, it's been a minute.
Yeah, definitely glad to have you back. And Kay Leezy in here. What's up, Kelly? How you doing?
I am hanging in there, Jay. Hey, Larry.
How are you doing? I'm waiting for you to cause problems. I drop through and watch you guys. I see you causing problems.
Just a little something.
Yeah. But we're going to talk about House of the Dragon finale. And a little later, some more Raising Kanan. But this House of the Dragon finale was pretty good. It was moving a little slow. I thought from the trailer we gonna see the war, and
yeah,
we saw more politics. But what you think about it? Larry, what was your thoughts about this episode?
Yeah, I felt like I was expecting a lot more. I was expecting that we were going to see a lot of action at some point. I knew it looked like they were building up to it. And I felt like we were going to get like a big crescendo, even if it was at the end. I felt like we were at least going to get the start of it. And we just didn't. I mean, it wasn't a bad episode, not at all. But it almost feels like this should have been like an episode 9. And then there should have been another episode after it. You know,
I agree. Kelly, what's up? What you think? You the Khaleesi.
That's right. I'm sorry for my voice, guys. It's just going downhill, but I'm hanging in there. So Larry, you just made the valid point to me. Like, what? I didn't even remember that this was the last episode. It did not seem like a season finale. What? This was so like anticlimactic. It was emotional for me at some points, but geez, they could have done something better than this.
Yeah,
for the final episode of the season, like that night when you said it just now, I was like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah, because the way that it ended would be a perfect episode 9, because you saw when he took a bite out of the neck, and then her face, you're like, okay, now it's on. But it's over actually now, so we gotta wait a year for it. Like, oh man, like
exactly. You definitely, because I'm like, okay, I can't wait till next week, and it just hit me like, what?
Nope.
When you said that, I was like, what? This is crazy. This is supposed to be episode 9. Like they got it twisted, and they gave us 10 for 9 and 9 for 10. Okay.
Yeah. Last week, even though last week I don't think it would have worked as a finale, I think the level of action and the way you were left feeling after that episode felt more like a season finale than this did. The only thing that they did that made it seem like a finale but was too obvious for me was the whole with their backs turned, and then they had the slow camera push in with her turning around. You could see sort of the anger in her face. Like she was trying to avoid war, but now she's all about it.
It's all time. You didn't kill my baby. Yeah.
I mean, that was like, we get that as far as a season finale, but they could have done that in the first act and then just given us the war.
Especially when they done did so many time jumps and stuff. Why spend so much time with that? As well as, what do you guys think with all the time they spent on her giving birth by herself? I mean, that was very graphic and detailed. Kelly Lee, go for it.
I checked out. It was too much and too long. Too much and too long for me. I checked out like, oh, good grief. So now, remember, I was looking at it thinking I got an episode next week. Now I'm pissed off that they spent all this friggin' time showing her push this baby out. Come on, man.
Yeah, that was the whole battle scene.
Yeah, that was like 10 minutes
right now.
Time.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because now I'm like, wait a minute. Wait, this is it? Like, you wasted, what was it? 10, 15 minutes? Maybe 10 minutes.
Which is a long time on the screen.
It was long.
And it was so graphic, and it was like, to what end?
Yeah,
it was like, to what end are they? Like, I get it that you're gonna have a miscarriage. I get it. You're stressed out about all this stuff, and the baby's coming early. We get all that, but we didn't need to see all the gyrations and of being in labor and all of the flopping around, the baby coming out, all that graphic. We didn't need to see all that. We could have just simply had her in the other room. We could have actually seen her over there, maybe grunting for a second. We could have seen Daemon over there preparing for war, heard her screaming, and when they cut back, they could have cut back with her with a baby with the umbilical cord wrapped around its neck and in her arms, and we would have all gotten the point just the same.
Right.
And they could have taken those 10 minutes and given 8 of them to a war.
Exactly, because we already saw in the first or second episode a bad pregnancy, and they did a graphic with that, but it wasn't this graphic, and it was good enough, you know.
Yeah,
they went a step further. We had to watch her hold the baby for a while, and I mean, wow. Then we saw the funeral.
yeah.
Like, come on, that was a lot, but you know, Game of Thrones style, they want to have a little graphic, shock value sometimes. So
that what's the name? The dude that writes this thing again?
R. Martin, George.
Yeah, George R. Martin. I sometimes I wonder. I was like, this dude must not like women or something, man, because his stuff is like so brutal towards women. Like every visual that you see just about towards women has them either being really brutalized or very subservient or something. I feel like the only woman that we've seen that hasn't been like completely that way really is kind of Rhaenyra's, and that's it. And she's even been like in some ways really put down and talked, and demeaned, but some of that's her own doing. You can't run around sleeping with every Tom, Dick, and Harry and popping babies out left and right.
Yeah, because it's a double standard, especially back then. So if she was king, she could have had 1,000,000 bastards, but as queen, that you wrong. So
yeah.
What do you all think about taking a bite out of neck? How it is? He got a little neck respect. When she sent them out there to go and deliver that message, they too little. I'm like, why are you sending them out there by themselves? And I just knew trouble was gonna happen.
Right.
Larry, what did you think about how he pulled that patch off and he had that baby blue eye? He said, I want you to have one. What you thought was gonna happen?
Yeah, I feel like, bro, get over it. He didn't take your eye. He didn't take your eye. He wasn't even born. He wasn't even conceived when your eye got taken. I was like, why are you still beefing with this dude?
I thought that was him.
Oh, he was the one, Larry.
Oh, he was the one.
The little boy.
Okay, because he was so small.
The actor so much.
Okay, because he was so small. I was like, that can't be him. The other dude looks like he's like he's 35 now.
Yeah.
Shay, wasn't I saying that? Larry, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I was saying that. How are they gonna change the other boy and make the little? And there's only a 2-year difference.
Okay, see, I wasn't getting that because this dude looked like he was fully yoked up, squared off jaw. Looked like he's all in his full grown manish,
Yeah.
So he looked like. So I mean, dude wasn't gonna get he wasn't taking his eye, but I knew the little boy was dead as soon as he pulled up. As soon as he pulled up and landed his dragon. And we saw the other dude with the Bugatti dragon. I was like, you're done, homie.
Yeah, he should have just gave that message to somebody and hopped back on and left right then.
Yeah, that's what he should have done. He should have dropped. He should have tossed it and said, "It's from my mom's," and dipped on out.
Right.
For
real.
Yeah.
Now, Kay Leezy, I know you got a little insight from the books. I'm not the book person. Larry, did you read any of the books on this stuff?
I did not, and I'll tell you, I started to, and then I said, you know what, I'm not going to, because the last time several times I have read the books and then watched the movies, I have been so thoroughly disappointed because they leave so much out that I'm just like, but wait, you can't get to that. You haven't talked about this yet. So I just said, you know what, I'm not doing it because I want to enjoy it.
Yeah, that's a good point. So Kelly, you saw the ending. And we were speaking a little bit before we went on the air, and I was saying my impression is that he wanted to mess with him and cause some type of problems when they was flying in the air, but it looked like the dragons took a hold of it, and then they got on their own terms and then took it from there, and it was an accident. He felt bad. He killed them. You say the books was a little different. What's your thoughts on that?
Because Aemond is a bad man, so he knew what he was doing when he came out there for his cousin, a nephew, you know. But so he knew what he was doing. Now, thinking back, this was years since I heard the story, right? Since the initial Game of Thrones. So it's not like if I remembered everything. When I saw, I was like, oh my God, it's gonna happen now. So I knew it was gonna happen. But definitely, he knew what he was doing. I mean, the one thing I think that I appreciate from this show is that they're taking it in stride and they're putting their spin on it. So I think it's so tastefully done that a lot of the book readers are not that pissed off like certain things in Game of Thrones where they realize exactly what Larry said. So much stuff was missing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of stuff is missing in this. Clearly, we saw like a 16-year time jump between two episodes. So, of course, stuff was missing. But I think that, you know, it's confusing. I'm not going to BS it. It's confusing. But, you know, this Aemond is a bad man, and it's going to get worse.
No one's going to believe that he didn't do it on purpose.
No, ain't nobody.
Like, no, I can think he can't go and say it was an accident. I took my big ass dragon out there and was basically messing with him, but I was just trying to mess with him, and then my dragon accidentally ate him. No one's gonna believe that.
No,
He bit in half. I was like, oh.
With one bite.
But you know, when Luke flamed his dragon, he shouldn't have flamed the dragon. He should have flamed Aemond. He should have just rolled right by him and flamed Aemond, and like maybe the dragon at that point with no rider.
Because he told
the dragon was like, "Oh, word, we throwing fire now? All right, cool. Let me show you what my fire look like." You know?
Because I agree with you, Larry. He should have flamed him and got his ass off, but it was a dragon battle at that point because he was saying, "No, obey me," and then he burnt this thing, so he was mad that he was fighting him. Like,
yeah,
that's like when you got that little poodle and he come up against the German Shepherd and he running all up on it. He want that smoke. You like, no, chill.
You know,
you want it, but you don't want this. You don't want this.
That dragon was so big, man. He flew over top of him. He was so big. He was looking around like, where is it? The thing was so big. He couldn't even tell that it was over him. It was that big. I was like, damn. When this thing is so big, it just appears to be the sky. You know?
Yeah, you really got to see the scale of that dragon in this episode, because his dragon that he was riding, the little one,
little baby dragon,
still though, but it was big when he got off compared to a man. That's big and huge, and then to see how little that looked compared to that, you know, like
that was like a little smart car dragon.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah, they need to. I mean, I get why they sent him out there, but I feel like, man, that little boy, you don't know what you're sending him in. Like, they shouldn't have sent him alone. They kept talking about how they had all these 13 dragons before. I feel like maybe you should have sent 2 with the little boy, you know?
Right. He needed to back.
That's
you
true.
know? Because even if you don't figure like the whole fighting thing, you need, like, he's a kid. He's not a skilled diplomat.
Right.
You know, like maybe all of that could have been kiboshed right there in that hall if he either was a skilled diplomat or had somebody that was somebody older, a little bit more well-versed with him.
Right.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. You saw he couldn't even beat his brother.
Well, his brother's an asshole, man. I was like, you're supposed to be teaching him, not just whooping him. You know?
But you know why? You know why the brother's that aggressive? Because the brother knows that Aemond is the one that they gotta go up against. So like you can't be soft. You have to be ready now. Everything is ready now for the brother because he knows that Aemond is ready. Aemond been ready, and that's who they gotta go up against.
I get that, I do, but I think
but
you still have I feel like there's a time for that. But there's also when you're teaching someone, you have to teach them. You can't, like, he's not learning anything by sitting on the ground getting his ass whooped. He's not learning from that. You need to teach him the skills, and then when you say, okay, now we're truly gonna spar, then you go. Even their instructor said, hey, take it easy. He said you can't. He's not gonna learn that way. You know, right now you're just being a bully. He's not gonna learn that way. You know, like if I'm gonna have my brother next to me in battle, I want my brother as well trained as possible. I want him as just as good as me, if not better. So.
All right, now we know Lamont. You know, when he do his Game of Thrones review, he be having guests and he do his little wig and things like that. You know, I don't know. I tried to get a guest. I do got somebody. He ain't that popular of one of the, Targaryens, but hold on. Let me get him. Hold on. Let me get the guest over there.
Larry, what is he up to, Larry? Oh, my Lord.
Oh, no.
Hold
Is he
on.
bringing Daemon on? Is he bringing Daemon?
Is he bringing Daemon? I don't know.
Hold on. The guest is on the way.
Is it going to be the white worm?
Hold on.
Is it the white worm? Is it the white worm? The chick. Uh-oh.
It is I, Trump Targaryen. I've done more for the Targaryens since Abraham Lincoln. Okay. It was beautiful episode. One of the big dragons, take a bite out of the little one. That's what you do in business. You take a bite out of the little business.
Really, Jay?
I'm
sorry. Really, Trump Targaryen?
Trump Targaryen. I've done more for the Targaryens since Abraham Lincoln.
Gotcha.
All right.
Sure, are we going to make Valerians great again?
Make Valeria great again. Harrenhal will be great again.
Yes.
They must build instead of build the wall, build the Harrenhal. Build the Harrenhal. We already have the wall. Beautiful wall. It's really tall. It's straight. It stands straight up. Beautiful wall. It keeps the white walkers out. You know, we need to get one on the south. That's what I'm working on. We got the wall on the north. I need it on the south.
I feel like we need to get a shirt now that says "All Dragons' Lives Matter."
It's in print. It's in print, Larry. It's in print right now. But wait, Larry, what did you think about when Daemon choked out?
That's a good one.
Oh man, I felt like, I've had mixed feelings about that because one, he did it so quickly. It was like a true angered reaction. It wasn't. I don't even know that he thought to do it. I think it just happened. It was just instinct. So it was on instinct. He was so angry, and I think she was gonna be really mad at first, and then she felt sorry for him. She was like, "Oh,
you don't know.
Tell you, you don't know because he didn't tell you, and he didn't tell her because when the king told her, he told her this is something that's been passed down from heir to heir. He was never an heir. He was never supposed to rule, so he never told him. So,
right. One, that's how Rhaenyra's gonna know that mishap with her father wasn't real because ultimately the quote unquote fake king, he doesn't know either.
Yeah. And if he was meant to rule, he would have been told.
Right.
Yeah.
So now, do you see how that makes the story of Viserys, the father, makes sense? How he wasn't a king of war. He understood that he had to keep peace within the 7 kingdoms because of the Song of Ice and Fire.
Right.
But what do you think she's gonna think when she hears their reason and as that he confessed on his deathbed that is Aegon, because he is named the same name. So will she think did he really say that and they lying, or is she gonna think he was talking about the Song of Ice and Fire and you guys misinterpreted? I mean, because I don't know, she kind of didn't want to go to war, but of course they didn't kill the boy, so it's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that look at the end, that wasn't the look of let's chill. That's like, you just forked up.
Yeah, that's a look like either I'm gonna win or I'm gonna burn it all down. Either I win or no one wins.
Right.
You know?
You got to burn it all down in her blood, so
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this is go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying damn.
You know what got me, which was kind of messed up, but this is one of the reasons why I like Daemon, because I think he's just a straight up G at times. But when they came and told her that her dad had died, she was just like, she was talking about the other princess was talking about, they were just all about who was gonna rule, and you know, she didn't really, it seemed like she didn't have any care for her dad. It was just all about who was gonna be in the next in line, who was gonna take the throne, or you know, this and that. And Daemon came up and said, how did he pass? How did he die? He was asking about his brother in that moment. It was like, okay, the king's dead, I get it, but tell me about how my brother died. And I was like, man, you didn't even think to ask. That's your dad. You didn't even think to ask. You were just like, you were up there. As soon as she started talking about, they named him king. Oh God. Oh my gut. Oh, you know.
Yeah, she took that one hard. Let me ask you this, Kelly. Do you think she will ever believe that they did not kill her father? I mean, look how bad he looked. Why is that hard for them to believe he ain't dead?
That dude had half a face.
Because he's been living with half that face, like the mummy with no eye and the cheeks missing. He's been living like that for 20 years now. Come on now. He accustomed to living like this. But so I do think, of course, you know, we're giving him the drugs. We understand it was for the pain and stuff, but I would think that regardless, right? That they gave him a slow poisoning death. But this guy was strong. He lived 20 years like that. But
man, this is early days of fentanyl. That dude had a slow drip of fentanyl.
Right.
Exactly. Slow drip.
Wrong.
Right. But I think to what Larry was saying, Daemon was never trained in the line of succession. So he could only be emotional to his brother. Rhaenyra was trained that way. So she understands that when that death occurs, it's action time. We'll deal with the emotions after. So that's why I think she didn't get it on an emotional level, because she was trained to do this. This is her job. It wasn't just my dad. It's the biggest title in the land. Daemon didn't have that training. So he considered his brother at that point.
Right. I think it probably only hit her emotionally when, I think, what was that, an obituary or an invite to the funeral when Hightower gave it to her on the thing. I think that's when it finally hit her, like, damn, my daddy did.
The paper that he gave her, I think that was a story from the book with the she had a childhood thing she shared with the oh gosh, what's her name? Hightower girl.
Right. Okay. I didn't know that. I thought it was an obituary.
I'll tell you, I think like that scene on the bridge, I feel like she should have thrown her over should have thrown the hand off. Like she took that thing and threw the hand off she should have threw the hand off the bridge. She should have threw him off the bridge and then said, tell the queen the next time she wants to speak to a queen, come speak to me queen to queen. Don't send your pops. And now we both lost our dads. Now we can maybe talk about something, you know.
But I'm a dad.
Yeah, that's right there. I thought she was gonna roast them all on the steps right there, but
yeah,
you know, I guess she was still thinking she could prevent war, which, you know, wasn't being realistic. Now, before we let Kay Leezy get up out of here, because you know, she wasn't feeling too good, but we'll talk about.
I know I'm pushing through the talk right now, but you know, I'm winning with you guys. I'm a team player. I'm here.
All right, I ain't wanna play you injured in the game.
You gotta go get you a hot toddy or something, you know, because you know, if the whiskey doesn't lubricate your throat, it just make you not feel it.
Oh, a hot toddy. I'm gonna look into that, Larry. Let me write that down. Hot toddy.
Either way, it works, right?
Right.
Now we saw Daemon creep off in to a new dragon. He was singing a little R. Kelly, trying to woo the dragon up in there. Arvelli, and he was singing a little Arvelli up in there, trying to woo the dragon. What's up? Is this dragon supposed to be as big and formidable as you know, McGruff? I'm gonna call Big Boy McGruff because he took a bite out of that neck.
Yeah, I'm done.
Is he going McGruff instead of that McPuff over there? He puffed that fire, take a bite out of the neck.
Well, McGruff is the biggest dragon, so no matter what that thing come out there looking like, unless they putting a spin on it, McGruff is supposed to be the biggest dragon, period.
Now I'm curious, is he supposed to be the biggest dragon that they have riding? Because he did mention they had some wild dragons out there, which I think he went to go. He was like, so
right.
we don't know how big those wild dragons are if no one's riding them. And, you know, you're only seeing them at a distance or whatnot, you know.
So we'll see. I mean, because they are changing it up. So the McGruff is supposed to be the biggest dragon, but you got a point, Larry. The biggest, they got a bad wild one out there. Tell you that. They do got a bad wild one out there.
Because he was singing, and when they showed his head, when he blew that fire, old boy had a big head.
Yeah, he looked sizable. I would,
So
it's gonna be something else whenever they get to it, but who knows? They hopefully they don't try and do some funny business again and be like, it's gonna take 2 years to write the stories.
Yeah, somebody actually put that in the comments. So go ahead, Kelly. What was you going to say?
How long is it going to take for them to come out with the next one? Like, I don't know. Jesus.
So Mad Gaming in the comments said, I heard we got to wait 2 years for season 2. I hope that ain't true.
I hope not either.
For real. 2 years.
Yeah, that was messed up then that they left it on this type of a cliffhanger with it ending. I mean, like you say, this should be an episode 9, and damn,
right?
It better be all war then for season 2.
Pure war from as soon as the intro come in, just pure war. Period.
Yeah, for real. So,
but you know, we all, like, at least I feel like everybody was thinking at some point we're gonna see Aemon and Daemon have to get it in. They look like each other. They look like Aemon looks like a younger version of Daemon. I think everybody when they saw them said, "Oh, those two are gonna have to battle at some point." And now I think we pretty much just guaranteed that when dude just took out the little boy. Yeah, I think we just guarantee that Daemon's gonna come for that head. So
Aemon is the bootleg Daemon. Okay, so just it. Aemon gotta go with that blue eye and all. He got to go.
He might need to pop that jewel out and piss in his eye. Be like, I'm gonna let you live with this indignity so you can come back and fight another day because you're just not ready yet. You know?
Let me get this straight. Wait, so Daemon has to pop the jewel out and piss in Aemon's eye?
Yep.
Use it as a porta potty.
Use it as a porta potty. You know, sterile, peace sterile. He'll be all right. And just tell him, hey, you're not ready yet. You're not ready yet.
In more ways than one.
It wouldn't even be any honor of me killing you right now because it would be like squashing a bug or killing an infant. There's no honor in it right now. So I'm gonna wait till you grow up a little bit and then you can come back.
Yeah, you saw they looked eye to eye in that last supper with the king, and old boy stole on him and he was about to do something, and Daemon stepped in and they kind of looked like
you know. Daemon rolls up in spots and people act like Tyson just walked in the building like, oh damn, you know.
Right.
I'm gonna fight that dude over there. I'm gonna fight him. The other one.
Right. You saw when Rhaenys told the sea snake his brother head got chopped off by Daemon, he was like,
damn.
right. Damn.
What was he doing? What did he do to upset Daemon?
Right. He always running his mouth with our house. Reaching too far.
The sea snake really knows how savage Daemon really is. Remember when he went to the crab feeder and they, they joined forces in that? Come on, the sea snake knows how savage Daemon is. So he don't want that smoke, okay?
Daemon, though, that scene, this brother did not want help so much that he just went balls out. He was like, I'm going to take out this whole damn army on my own. It did. Rolled up in there. It was like, this dude is a straight beast.
Right.
Yeah, man. Daemon ain't no joke. And they go to what I was waiting on. This looks pretty big.
How big he is, I don't know. This might be the biggest dragon. And if Daemon is riding him and he's going up against Aemon, that's going to be a good battle because you're going to have two big giant dragons. And
it's a fair fight.
And I don't know if Aemon's going to be ready for this because Daemon, not only is Daemon like an experienced warrior, but obviously he's like the dragon whisperer. I don't feel like Aemon could have rolled up in there and talked to this dragon and been like, yo, homie, let me ride you. He probably would have got flamed.
Maybe, yeah. He knew what song to sing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good one, man. So Damn, man, I hate that it's over. And whether it's
No.
2 years or 1 year, man, seems like it's just getting started.
I hope there's another part of this Game of Thrones universe as they have now. Everybody wants a universe, but I hope there's a different part of this that we can see. If it is going to take 2 years, I hope there's a different one. Huh?
Jon Snow's spinoff is coming, so I think it comes out next year. So it will be in between this coming out. So
yeah, I don't want to wait 2 years, but if I have some other stuff in between there, maybe I'll be okay. But 2 years is too long. If I, as a producer, I wouldn't want to wait 2 years for anything. First of all these actors are going to be like 5 times more expensive by the time you get them back. Like, unless you have them locked down with their contracts, all of them are costing you more money.
I think they'll lock him down. It doesn't make sense if they don't lock him down.
But as an actor, you don't want to wait that long for another job. Well, of course, they'll be working to film it, but still, you got too much time and other projects and stuff. Yeah, so you don't want to do that. You want to keep it at least every year. They back in. So,
but the way they change these actors up, boy, every other episode. I mean, I guess they could just be like, no, don't worry, you can't make it. Scheduling conflict. Don't worry about it.
We'll change it.
We'll change you up.
Now, Kelly, I asked you this before, but I asked you again before we switch over to Raising Kanan, and then I asked you, Larry. But as far as the cast change of the main characters because of the time jump so much, did that take away from the viewing experience a little bit with you, or did it not bother you? Because to me, it was hard for me to connect with it. Pretty much,
Yeah, it bothered me a lot, and so that's why I'm Team Daemon. Period. I was going to be Team Daemon. Period. But because of how the show unfolded, I like the little Rhaenyra better.
Yeah, me too.
I just and they I agree with you, Jay. They could have aged her up a little bit. So I'm that part I am disconnected. So I'm just straight up holding on to Daemon as much as I can because I don't have no feelings for nobody else.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Larry? Did that affect your viewing experience with all the changes?
It did, and as you can see already from the first part of this episode, I was confused about Luke, and if that was actually, I thought that was like the son.
Kid.
Yeah, I thought that was a new kid. I was like the son of Luke or something. I was like, the kid is so small. He's so small. And the other dude looks like he's 35 now. And they kept doing these time jumps. I just assumed, okay, this kid's just bigger and older because time had passed. And the other kid still looks like he's in middle school. He
looks like he's in middle school. He does.
Yeah. And Luke looked like, like he's been working on Wall Street for the last 12 years. I mean, I don't know. All that was confusing. I like the younger Rhaenyra's a lot better. Not that there's anything wrong with this actor, but I liked her look. We got connected with her immediately, and I would have preferred that they just aged her up. And part of it too is because there was that whole sort of like twisted relationship with her and Daemon, and so when they switched the actors, it didn't have the same feel to it with those two. It just, I didn't get that same vibe. With the first one, you saw there was that weird, twisted, creepy, but sexual attraction there that it was like, but you felt it. You were like, oh, there's something really there, but why is it there?
Right.
And I didn't get that with the older one.
I didn't get that with the older one either. It is a disconnect. The older one just felt like, she's a new thing on the side or whatever. But the younger one, you felt the connection. And I agree, it definitely was you, but you couldn't look away.
Right.
Right. That's true. Yeah. So hopefully, at least they keep these people together for the next one and not more time jumps.
Right.
I'm curious though if the older brother, Luke's older brother, what's his name again? I forgot his name. Yeah, I wonder if he's gonna fight Aemond, because I think after he finds out his brother was killed, but I wonder if he's gonna fight Aemond. Aemond's gonna kill him too, and then we'll finally get the boss battle between him and Daemon. So
I don't know about that one, but the bottom line is, as long as we get to Daemon versus Aemond, we good.
Yeah, season 2 better be fire.
Yeah.
Speaking of season 2, let's switch it up to Raising Kanan season 2 finale. I got my girl Gina ready to join the party to talk about Raising Kanan season 2. Gina, you there?
Hey Jay, hey Kevin.
No.
Hey, Gina, how you doing?
All right, guys. I'm gonna cut before y'all get started because y'all don't want to see me crying.
Go get that hot toddy cracking.
But tomorrow, I'm scheduled in for tomorrow for sure. So I'm gonna rest up and we're gonna come back. But
Right.
you know, hold it down 24/7, so we good.
See you, Kelly.
Yep.
All right, guys. I'll see y'all in the chat.
All right.
Later. All right. So, Gina, what did you think about this finale, and what scene stood out to you the most in this?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great episode. The scene that stood out to me the most was Unique coming to rescue Rock. I did not see that coming.
That was a surprise. I knew when they do the typical hesitation, something was going to happen, but I didn't think that was coming. What do you think? Do you think she's more open to his love connection proposal now?
She could be. I really thought it was Howard, though, because him and Kanan were on the way to the house. So as it was happening, I was like, come on, Howard, come on, Howard. And then it was Unique. I was like, wow, that was out of nowhere.
Now, let me ask you, because you in New York girl, how is he getting from Jersey to Queens that fast? Because then they hit everything kind of at the same time? Or what is it? At night is no traffic? Or what? I don't know.
It's definitely traffic, but he's got this, so he made it happen.
He made it happen. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Larry, what you think about the episode? Since we on this, do you think she might be open to his office water cooler proposal now?
Oh, she's definitely open. I think after he just rescued her, her nose is wide open. You know, I think she already liked his vibe before, but she was never really going to do anything about it. But now that he came through like a champ and rescued her, I think she's going to be about it. I don't think she's just going to just be like all happy-go-lucky and just hand it over. I think he might have to put in a little bit of work, but I think he'll get it, and I think she wants to give it.
Okay. All right. That's a good one. This episode I did like a lot as well. A lot did happen this episode, of course, as we all know. And of course I did like that scene. But one scene I am going to give a little extra credit to is when old boy saved Marvin ass in the wheelchair.
That was my favorite scene.
Hey, you never know who you may need or see.
Yeah.
Or, some people, try to think you ain't this or that, and you never know what may happen. So, that was kind of cool. And he said, hey, man, I'm built for drive-bys. Let's roll. Hop on.
But I just like that. It's like one of those things, like you put good out in the world, you get good back, And Marvin could have just been like, F you, nigga, don't worry. I don't care how you get around. But he was like, no, we're going to get you squared away,
Mm-hmm.
And it came back to him. So
yeah, that therapy saved his life.
It really did.
Yeah,
it really did.
Before he might have just kicked him out the way or something, but he sniffed up some. He took a couple breaths, sniffed up them breaths that day, and it saved his ass. So
it's funny with Marvin though. It's like he gets angry and he's hot-headed at times when everybody else is calm. When it seems like he must really thrive in chaos, because when the bullets were flying and everybody was running and freaking out, he was cool, calm, and collected. He just grabbed his gun, clack, clack, let's go, okay, let me peek around the corner. All right, you guys go, we'll cover you. He was just like, he was just calm, know?
And he said, put the stuff down there, drop it down the thing, to the next floor. So, yeah, that's a good point. Marvin, he was ready. Let me ask you this, Gina, because I know you, that's your boy, Lulu. What you think about Lulu when they came for him? Did you think Lulu was going to get hit? And then they got Kelly's girl, Zaza. Now her single might be a hit now.
If only she would have just stayed away for the 2 weeks, she would have been good. But Lulu, he handled himself very well. He had that adrenaline pumping, so I didn't think he was going to get taken out. I didn't have no fear about him.
Okay, what you think about Zaza now? Is it gonna be any fall back for the death of Ziza? Lulu tried to save her, but like you say,
You don't
I
care
don't
anything about
know.
Ziza.
I mean, as far as the law, maybe, but I don't think nothing else besides that. Like, it seemed like the parents were worried. Like, they're not like street. Cartier was like the street person of life.
okay. What you think about the twist though? What we found later that now Rock owns it, and how she did Lulu, she straight sunned him, and I mean, damn, that was emasculating. Let me hear what you think about that. Then I'm gonna get to you with that one, Larry.
I felt bad for Lulu. I felt really bad for him. But he just hopped into even worse situations for himself. Like, he went to Cartier. He went behind her back. She went to Crown without him knowing. It's like Lulu was just getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Like, he really can't go nowhere now. The place he wanted to escape to, she got it.
Yeah, he in trouble. What's up? What you think about how she did Lulu? Basically said, "I own you. You basically my bitch." I mean, he had a tear in his eye. I thought it looked like it. I mean, what you think, Larry? Did he have a tear in his eye? Did she do too much right there?
It did look like he had a tear in his eye, and yeah, she did. She did too much. I think what she damaged their relationship. You know, I don't think there's any repairing that. I think it's just irreparable harm that she did. Not just because the way she treated him, but she showed herself to be not trustworthy. She showed that she cannot be trusted, and the only reason why she was able to get away with that with Lou is because she was his sister. Because he thought this is my sister, I can trust her. She's not going to do me like some other nigga off the street would do me. And she did exactly that. She treated Lou like he was scrappy. She didn't care about him. She just basically used him and wanted to control him.
He wouldn't let no other woman grab him by the face and yelling at him like that.
No, he would not. And I think she's just gonna find that she's gonna have all kinds of problems with Lou's just like, I'm not here anymore. I mean, honestly, what Lou should do is pack his stuff up and go to LA and go find homegirl, go find Famous's sister and say, you know what? I'm out the game altogether. I know you were with Camacho. There's no beef there. Let's make this thing happen, you know? But he's not going to do that.
Right. That would be the good thing to do.
You know one thing I didn't like about this episode? They never closed out Famous's story. This dude he bodied that dude up and they didn't close it out.
No, let me ask you this, since Larry bring it up. Gina, what's up with the Pops in New York? He wasn't snitching. Everybody said he called the cops when he got his ass beat, but when this time we saw he wasn't saying nothing. So what is it? Did he call the cops? Did he not? Is he scared? What's happening with Pops?
Oh, I don't know now. That got me thinking, did he call the cops? Because I thought he called the cops.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he didn't tell. I don't know if like they're gonna ask him again, and then he might, but he stood tall.
Okay.
I wouldn't want. I mean, that was right in front of the door. I wouldn't want nobody coming over there thinking I'm answering nobody's questions.
Right, and he couldn't do nothing. He still got to live there.
Mm-hmm.
It may end up backfiring because that means you allow criminals to still operate. But if you snitch, they may retaliate on you. Larry, what do you think? Is Pops gonna say something? Is it over or what? Did he call the cops?
He's not saying anything. I mean, I'm surprised he even opened his door. I wouldn't even open my door. I'd be like, just turn the TV up a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't even want you to think I heard nothing. Don't even think I do.
You know? Nothing. I'll be like, I heard nothing. I've seen nothing. Leave me the hell alone. And I would try and get up out. I'm assuming that they're in these projects or these chill. Well, that was a little cheap apartment building, so it wasn't project. So he probably just couldn't afford to leave. But Yeah, I feel bad for the old man because it's like obviously you don't want an old man like that living under all that stress and drama and people running up in there robbing folks. But I mean, what are you gonna do? You can't snitch. You know, you can't
He looks
snitch.
so sad, man. I feel so sorry for him, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good they picked a good actor for that role because he looked like a sad, scared old man for real,
He
man.
really does.
Damn, man. Pops can't do much. So yeah, I don't know. But that is interesting that they didn't bring it up with Famous. What you think about how Kanan took the dope and said, "This is my dope," and then he's saying, tell moms, I don't give a damn what you tell them. And then him and Famous, they out there putting in work. Famous did the right thing and not getting caught up with it. But what you think about how Kanan now manning up, saying, "Man, fork my mom. This is my stuff."
Man, come on, man. Somebody needs to do something with this little boy. He's just a mess. He's just a mess. I mean, I don't even understand how they run this operation because Kanan runs up in there when he feels like it and just grabs dope so he can take it and run. And then you also have Lulu coming in, just grabbing the day's receipts and bouncing up out of there. People are just coming in, taking money out the spot, taking dope out the spot. It's like, who's doing the accounting for them? You know? It's like, how are you managing this business like that? It doesn't make any sense to me. It feels like with all this stuff that's coming in and out that's unaccounted for, what if you come up with short? You gonna go blame one of the dudes that work in there? And they're gonna be like, you're gonna be like, how you gonna blame me when Kanan just rolled through yesterday and took a whole key? Or so-and-so came and lifted with the whole day's receipts. How you gonna blame us? We've been here just putting in work, eating chili dogs and selling dope. That's it.
Chili dogs and selling dope. Gina, what's up? What you think about Kanan now? He a grown man. He gonna go ahead and grab his dope. This my shit. Mama said that the Empire should do it all for me. It's mine.
Yeah. Put that to the test. When she find out, he about to put that to the test.
He was acting just like her in that moment. He was acting like her, like, oh, I can do whatever I want. There won't be no repercussions because I'm me. And he chose to go to the corner. It's like Famous said, didn't your mom want everybody to stay off the corner?
Mm-hmm.
And here you go, going right back to what she was trying to stop. So I don't know. He just too much.
Yeah, that's what you think. What that conversation gonna be like? Because Marvin did tell her, and she was like, "I handle him," because she had bigger matters at the moment, but she wasn't gonna let it slide. So,
right, but it's all of that build up. The last conversation they had, him being gone, her not knowing what's going on with him, and then you doing this. Oh yeah, it's gonna go down.
yeah.
I've been saying since the first season that Marvin is not dumb. Everybody tried to make it seem like Marvin was dumb, that he wasn't that smart. And I've been like, Marvin's not dumb. Marvin is not dumb. He may not be able to articulate everything that he wants to say or feel in the way that other folks can, but he's not dumb. And we kept seeing that this whole season. We kept seeing that. And we saw it this episode. We saw it last episode when
that's all.
When she's this episode, when she was about to just go ahead and really just about to talk out the side of her neck with Juliana, and Marvin was like, chill. Yeah.
Right. Now let me ask you, Gina, who's the boss? What do you think about Tony Danza? His body still look good, but his face, he put on some years.
Yeah.
But what you think about him?
He looked totally different. I used to love Who's the Boss.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed him in this episode. His language, I was like, okay. That's it. I enjoyed him in this episode. I like how he stood with Sal.
Mm-hmm. I was surprised to see Tony Danza. Not that I think this is a reason you shouldn't get a job, but he has been kind of outspoken for Trump a little bit.
Oh, has he really?
I heard some things years ago, so I can't say he's been like some people, but he did say you know, some supportive things, which I guess you could support and do whatever you want. And nothing wrong with that. I'm just surprised that, you know, he was on this show. But hey, a job is a job. And, you know, I think that he could be a good mob. He looked like an Italian mob boss.
Right.
Yeah, they kind of tied in the John Gotti fish thing, but they didn't have him, John Gotti, I guess, you know, rights and all of that. So they just kind of put a different mob boss and he sell fish tanks. What you think about how he kind of threw in, oh yeah, your dark friend bought a big fish tank too.
Yeah, that was great. What's his name? Was like, well, I'll take the biggest one you have then.
Hey, right. You got to pay a little money. You want
you know? You want to come through and have this conversation. My time is not free. You're about to pay for it one way or the other. So, you know, but it was interesting though that Rock was, and I don't know if this was Rock doing or if it was somebody else that said, hey, you need to go have this conversation. It was interesting that Rock had gone to him first and spoken to him. And it was interesting too that dude was like, you need to handle that. I'm not getting in the middle of that. Don't come over here asking for my help, my people's. That's you. Do you? You know, I'm not gonna help her, but I'm also not gonna help you. I'm just gonna sit back and wait and see what happens. No.
Shout out to Lenora Wilson. She said Tony's 71 years old now.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, he looked good in shape, body wise. I mean, you could just see the age on his face, you know. But
he used to be a boxer.
Okay, I remember that. I don't remember. I only remember him as acting and things, but
used to be a boxer and a school teacher.
Oh wow, yeah. He done lived a few different lives.
Yeah, they have a TV show with him where he's it was a reality TV show where they were following him and I think he was teaching. It was high school or middle school in Philadelphia.
Oh wow.
They did a reality show after I think he had been there for a few years teaching, and then they followed him in the show. It's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Tony Danza over there doing big things. What's up with Burke and Howard? They finally had a talk, and he basically told her, leave it alone. And she's over here tripping about Sam. And he even said, man, he a junkie. What the hell does he know? Gina, what's up with Howard and Burke? He finally told her to chill out. She don't want to stop. She finally, I guess, get the point when Juke put a bug in her ear, but she won't run her. What's up? What you think about when Howard told her about Sam?
She is not gonna stop. She's not gonna stop. Now she's like, oh, you got something to do with this, that Sam is dead, because he was just about to talk about who shot you. So, like, she's looking at him even more crazy. She's just gonna keep on going with this. They're gonna have to kill her. She's not gonna stop. Threats are not gonna make her stop. None of this.
No, they don't have to kill her.
Okay, they're gonna happen then.
I think her and I think one of the two things are gonna happen. One, because I think she's so straight laced. I think her and Jukebox are gonna hook up at some point. I think her and Jukebox are gonna be together. But she's so straight laced. Part of me's thinking like she's gonna wait till Jukebox is 18. But part of me thinks like maybe Jukebox somehow seduces her, and that's how Howard gets her off his back, where she's basically like, look, I know you've been messing with this little girl, and you don't want me going telling whoever, because then you'll be going to jail. And the same thing that you just did is the same thing that I did when I was your age. You know, the only difference is I got mine pregnant and she had a baby.
Right.
You know?
I think they will have to kill her, but I think that they will try not to. So I think that they will they already been trying to get her to stop. That ain't going to work. They'll probably get her fired, maybe with that story about her and Jukebox. They already put the bug in there. The father may not leave it alone, even though Jukebox tried to throw him off the trail. And so Burke may get fired, which then will piss her off that she lost her job over something that wasn't true. She gonna go rogue and really be looking into it, which then she'll put everything together, and then he gonna have to kill her, or somebody gonna kill her.
The only reason why I don't want to see that happen, that sounds like the exact same storyline they did for Cooper Saxe.
They do that a lot, though, in Power. They do a lot of similar storylines.
Yes. And I flip it a little bit, but the only reason I don't want them to get rid of her, kill her off, she's the only good guy on this show. She's the only, well, no, I was gonna say maybe, huh?
She is not good.
No, she is a good guy. She's still on the straight and narrow. She is
to get to the truth is causing her to do unspeakable things.
Like what? What is she hasn't broken any laws? She hasn't done any crimes yet.
Evidence.
She did do that to Kanan.
That's not illegal though. Cops have the right to lie to you. They can lie to you and threaten you and do all kinds of stuff so that you're worried and tell the truth. This has already been adjudicated. The Supreme Court says cops can do all of that. So she hasn't broken any laws yet.
Not until she actually plants it.
Yes, which she didn't do.
Right.
So,
yeah, but she's walking the line. I get it.
Yeah. Technically,
but I think if you get rid of her, who's the good guy on the show? Like the only people that were sort of good on this show was her and Symphony. But you couldn't even really say Symphony because Symphony knew right out the gate what Rock was doing, and he was down for all of it. You know, he wasn't a part of it. He wasn't doing it, but he knew exactly what she was doing, and he still was down to be with her. So, like, if something happened to him, you couldn't even really be mad and say, like, well, you didn't know. But the cop so far is the only innocent in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's probably the only good guy. You're right, because, I mean, I guess Howard is not a bad guy, but he walks the line, too.
The damn pedophile.
She lied to him, though, he said. So he didn't know she was underage going into it.
Come on, man. A girl takes her shirt off and her titties stand up here without a bra. You need to check the ID. There is no grown woman who gravity hasn't kicked in on them yet. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just saying for real, that's what happens. Gravity will kick in.
Well, even if she was, when she lied, it wasn't like she said she was 35. She said was 18 or 19. Well, that's still young.
I don't believe that this cop was up there running her as a CI and all this stuff and didn't check and know how old she was. I don't believe that.
All right, let me ask y'all watching. Put a H1 if Howard is shady, a dirty cop. Well, shady. All right, and put a H2 if he not. You can put an H3 if he walked the line. I don't think he's really a shady, dirty cop.
He's got cash.
Seen it. He got a shady past. Yeah, Miguel said he got a shady past, which is true. Did he get lied to and know better? Sometimes you talking to this girl and she ain't 18, but she lied, so you let her lie, so that way you can say, well, she said it. He knew better. You know what I mean? So did he do that? Or,
I mean, just because she said it doesn't mean anything. You know.
So I don't know. What do you think, Gina? He got a shady past? Is he, bad, good, middle?
I'm feeling like even though she did tell him a different age, he should have made it his business to know that that was a fact. And he didn't. So, all of that is going to come with, look how old you are and look how old she was.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
How old is High Post? DEFCON. I wonder how old he was.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he might have been like, well, you messing with him.
And here's another point that we should consider, considering he was a cop too, is that if she was his CI, I don't think that even if she was 18, I still don't think he could have had sex with her legally because he was in a position of power over her. That's still think that they will say that she wouldn't even have had the ability to give a consent because she would have felt like she had to do it. So I think even regardless if she was 18 or not, I think having sex with her still would have been illegal.
That's a good point. And they do have that laws in even schools and things and jobs, you know what I mean, with that power dynamic. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did have something like that. That's a good point. So, yeah.
But I'm still not making excuses. That was a dirty ass nigga. We all know it. He slept with that young girl and she got pregnant, and that's just dirty. I mean, he was up there raw dogging with that little babe. I mean,
all right. Well, then you talk about dirty females. Let me ask you this: is she dirty? Am I dirty? I found another way. Are you strong? But I am strong. I am strong. I got a new hairdo. I have a new, a makeup. I am a new woman.
oh,
Gina, Larry, let me ask y'all this: is she wrong for how she did Rock? Gina, let me hear you, and then Larry, you go.
I think so. I do. I think that was wrong. But I feel like she lost respect for her in a sense once the thing happened with Unique. Like she told her, he traumatized me, he kidnapped me, and you just gonna let that ride? She wasn't looking at the business aspect of it. She's looking at, okay, like we in this thing together and you just gonna let this happen to me? You're you, like you make all kinds of moves. So she was let down and now she really don't care about her no more.
Okay. Larry, what you think? Was she wrong for making this move? Did Dobie cross?
was she wrong? No, she was nothing but right. I was laughing because Rock always thinks she's so smart and always has everybody, thinks she's better than everybody else in the way she moves. And this chick basically told Rock, just the way men underestimate you and you play them, you underestimated me and I just played the hell out of you. Like you looked at me as just this little chick that was getting her ass beat by her husband in the bodega, and you just underestimated me. And now look at you. You're up there in all kinds of trouble. You're about to go to war, all this stuff. And I'm sitting up here, and her cousin was talking about, she's dangerous. She was like dangerous too. There's different types of dangerous people. There are people that are dangerous because they'll put a bullet in your head, and there's other people that are dangerous because they will convince somebody else to put a bullet in your head. Right. You don't always have to get your hands dirty, but I like her because she's thinking through stuff. She even when they were in the bodega, she was telling Rock, why are you up here doing all this if you're just going to let the rats eat your money? It's like, why are you doing all this if that's what it is? I mean, this chick is about her business. And I think the way that she felt about Rock not going after Unique when he kidnapped her, I think she might harbor some ill feelings towards her cousin too. Like, hey, yo, we're fam, and this dude killed me and he's still walking. Why? I think she might be coming for everybody's business.
Okay.
No.
I like what you said about the dynamic of how Rock deals with men overestimating her. But then Rock did it to her because Rock in the man's world, so she did her like that. I like that. That was a good point. And I think that Rock made a mistake by not, taking care of her and making her feel safe. I was saying the whole time why you don't have a guy in there.
Yeah.
Security. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was definitely a problem there. But I do think that she may have overstepped, because sometimes when you're close with somebody, you start to forget or underestimate who they are, and you take it for granted. Just like in a relationship, a woman may see a guy and he driving this and looking this and that, and she's happy. But then as you've been with him for a while, well, you only got this for that, or you only did this, or you ain't really did that, or it ain't really, and so she probably looked at Rock with the strength and taking out the husband and thinking one thing, but as she spent time with her, you only let rats eat your money. You ain't really doing this. You let him do this. You let him do that. And I think you forgot who I am because you was next to me a little too long and you saw a couple little chinks in the armor, but I think I'm gonna have to remind you that, yeah, I may only do this or had that, but I ain't not one to play with. Like what you saw in the beginning is still there. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna have to remind you it ain't went nowhere,
But she can't really remind her too much since her cousin is the connect.
That's the point. That's the only reason she's straight.
And if Juliana gets real smart with it and figures out a way to maneuver her cousin up out of there, and she becomes the connect, Rock can really never touch her. You know?
That's a great point. So she's lucky with that. But Rock said we can find another connect, and then that was basically a war threat. Because if we find another connect, now we don't need you. But that's why Marvin said, hold up.
Yeah. That's the thing. You go and try and find another connect. You don't just have to worry about them. Those other, the Colombians are going to be like, you can't just go and start dealing with the Jamaicans or the Haitians or the Mexicans or whoever else. No, this is our spot. You're going to do business here. You're going to buy our product. That's it.
Right. We ain't going to let you just take your business elsewhere and we're going to be like Walmart. Oh, well, we just didn't know they cost them there. Nah.
We're happy to do business with you, but you're going to have to do business, So,
what you think about that dynamic with the Colombians and Juliana and Rock and finding another connect? Is she going to be in another war next season, Gina, or what? What's happening with that?
I think she's definitely going to be in another war. They just lining up. But, the way Juliana turned, it was a build-up to expected. Especially the first sit-down that she had with her and Joaquin. It was like, she was not feeling her anymore. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be... She still got the Jersey Boys. The Jersey Boys are still on Broadway right now, so go ahead. I was just gonna say they did that old typical drive-by half-ass thing, wasn't worth a damn.
Yeah,
they got up close and personal, like they should have did. They should have stopped the cars and got out and finished them.
Mm-hmm. I've never there's a couple things. One is that when Rock went to that first meeting with Juliana, her cousin, she should have brought Unique with her. She should have brought Unique and offered reparations for all of that. If you were going to work with Unique, you needed to bring her in there and say, hey, let's figure this out. But this is one thing I never quite understood with people who do these drive-bys like that. You go and you shoot up the place and they come out. Why don't you have another car come behind you? You shoot up the place and have somebody throwing Molotov cocktails because fire destroys everything. Like, I don't know anybody who's going to come outside and try and keep on shooting when the sidewalk and the side of the building's on fire. I'll just
need you that's what next hit.
Yeah, that's one of those things that people use. That's what those terrorists learned and overseas. They were like, we'll send in one vehicle to blow some stuff up. We'll get all the people to come out and then we'll send in the real one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Now you mentioned reparations. That don't always work. It sounds good, but we saw this brother came with a little manila envelope of reparations. How did that work out for him in this little comb over? Larry, what you think about his reparations package?
Yeah, this brother he's not thinking forward at all. This brother's gonna end up dead and Rock's gonna own his territory. This dude's not I know he thinks he's getting over, but he's not getting over. He's not getting over at all. He just made a very, very bad move that he didn't think of head on. And I get it. He doesn't want to work for somebody else, but maybe you just work out a different deal. Maybe you just work out a different deal with Rock so that it's not her territory, but you still buy from her or something. I don't know. You figure out something. But
yeah, I was saying she didn't know enough about, little comb over and baby Kevin Hart right here. She ain't know enough about their operation, and it seemed to backfire that she don't know enough about them as well. He thought he could slide a little money, and that wasn't what she wanted. She didn't want that money. She wanted your service.
I feel like whatever money needed to be slid is not going to fit in an envelope.
Right.
Right. Like I'm trying to take these areas. I'm trying to take Baltimore and DC, and you think that you can buy that with an envelope full of you better come with suitcases every other week. Right.
Damn right. Gina, what you think about what he did with his little reparations package and how she responded? and him and Kevin Hart.
I think that she underestimated him because she just knew that when she spoke to him, he was going to go with her. And then she turned around and she was like, okay, I'll prove a little something to you. She got his boy out. And now she thinks, oh, yeah, he's just going to ride with me. And it didn't turn out that way.
Yeah.
She had her face cracked in that moment. She didn't know what to do. But yeah, she does that a lot. She underestimates.
Yeah. One thing I will give Power credit for is their prop department for being on it with the old school Cheetos bag.
Yeah.
That
was dope.
Damn, where did they get that from? Oh man, that is old. Damn, it didn't even have Chester Cheetah yet.
Marvin stays eating too, boy. I don't know how this brother didn't even gain 100 pounds just from this role.
I know, right? And for real, they definitely keep a snack in his hand. That is so yeah, man. A lot going on, man, with this episode. I liked it a lot. In typical Power fashion, characters run their mouth, talk too damn much. And I did like the Jukebox kept it real and didn't lie with that dirty lie. But you talk too much talking about the crack was yours and this, that, and the other. Gina, what happened? Did she tell too much? Is it going to backfire or did she tell enough?
I could see her, like you said, I could see her clearing up the lie. But I do feel like she talked too much. Like, why you giving him that information? You letting him know that that's a lie. That's not what happened. You don't need to let him know that she got it from your bag. Because he's a grieving parent at the end of the day. He might not look at it the way that it was. So, yeah, I think she shouldn't have told him that.
I think he might almost start looking at Juke as like a surrogate daughter, because he lost his daughter. He knows that his daughter loves Juke, and he lost, he's divorcing his wife. He needs somebody to hold on to.
And I agree, but I think she put it in jeopardy when she said the crack was mine. What you think? I agree with what you're saying, and I saw that as well. But I think she might have. It didn't sink in at that moment. I think he was still in disbelief.
Yeah.
When he's sitting there with a little glass of yak, he drinking that boozy yak. He gonna be like, you know what? I'm coming for her.
Yeah. I mean, part of all this is like, this is one of the downsides of watching a prequel, is we know whatever happens to Juke is not going to be that bad, because we know she's going to end up being a cop. So whatever it is that she does, we know, one, she's not going to get caught, because there's no way she's going to get busted for selling dope or for killing somebody or doing anything else and still be able to become a cop. Right. Yeah.
Good point. That's a good point. And that is part of the problem with, like you say, prequel. And then also, I try to stay in the show moment and not know, well, I know this person is filming for season 3 already, so they ain't going to die, or it is that. I try, I know it, and I'll, say or report it, but I try to not put that into account when I'm doing the line of the story, because they take away the fun.
I will say this, though, since we're talking about Juke, those hands. Woo! Those hands, though.
Go there. What you think about that? And then I definitely got to hear from Gina with the Brooklyn. What's up,
man? She worked that dude over. She was dipping, bobbing, weaving, was just cut, put dude down, and then was just kicking the crap out of him. I was like, man, you better be glad your boys weren't around, because you just would have got straight up clown. You didn't even get 2-piece. You got worked over by this chick.
Right.
I feel like if this was today, Juke would probably be in the UFC or something making money, because she was nice with it.
A TikTok star with that ass whooping right there.
Yeah. And this dude, I don't know what he thought he was trying to do, trying to flex on her or something. I'm like, you know who you're dealing with, right? Why would you even test her like that? You know? I mean, if you're a church boy, you're up there, you know. I don't know. I mean, he didn't act like a church boy, but he seemed to stay up in that church. So I'm like, you know, you're not about that street life, and Juke is, and you know this. So why play with her?
I know, right? He definitely looked stupid trying to go up against her. And then we see everything was a setup from the get-go. And I'm glad they answered that question because everybody was like, how did she know she was gay? How they know? How they know? So, you know, I'm glad they answered that. Let's go to the girl from New York. Did she give a Brooklyn beat down? Is that how the ladies handle it?
Duke handled her business. She handled her business. As soon as I seen her chilling on the stoop, I was like, ooh. And he walked by, I was like, oh, it's about to go down.
Mm-hmm.
She definitely handled her business. And he underestimated her because he saw her in pretty dresses with her hair pressed. He didn't see Juke. He met Laverne. So he didn't know what he was up against, and he soon found out.
I thought he already knew Juke from just around the way.
No, he was at the church.
Yeah, that's how he met her.
I mean, when she came to the church, she was looking like that. She came through when she first came to the church. She came through with her, you know, with her Timbs on and whatnot. She wasn't rolling with the dresses because even when her mom started taking her shopping, her boys were like, "Damn, who knew Juke was fine?" You know, because she never looked like one of the girls that these dudes want to talk to. You know,
but see, I don't know. It's a little different for me in this and with how she dressed in the sense that coming up in Chicago, it was a big hip hop community, b-boy, all of that stuff. And so break dance, graffiti, everybody, women and dudes dressed like that. And fine women, you know, so like, and they weren't, you know, into women. They like guys. So it was weird to me by them saying, cause she was wearing Tommy and Tim's and stuff, cause then at that time, we didn't think that was the case. You know, if she would have been wearing a flannel and some khakis or something, maybe we might have thought something. If she'd had her hair braided with her flannel and some Dickies, we might have thought differently. But she kind of like geared up like we used to try to rock polo, Tommy, all of that. So I don't know, but it definitely was interesting to see. With Gina got a great point when she was sitting on that steps. I thought the same thing because we got those same steps in Chicago, same type of buildings. So I've been where you be going certain blocks and there's people on the steps and you already know, you know what I'm saying? So like as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's on. Because that's a setup, you know what I mean? So sometimes people will lean up against a wall or something like they ain't about nothing, and that's a setup too. So yeah, I definitely.
Her mom was dirty though, man. What was she expecting? She figured, okay, I'm all up in the church, so let me go make sure my daughter goes smashes this dude. So that this dude smashes my daughter, so I can sure that she's not gay. So what? You worry about her sinning, so you send her out there to sin? Is that what it is? I mean, that's just
matter. Why worry about other things other than who she's screwing? You don't even know her.
Yeah, just take some time to be with your daughter and enjoy it. Don't try and change her up and make her wear it different. You let her wear what she wants to wear. If you want to take her shopping and you see she's wearing Timbs, go get her some pink Timbs if you want to fem her up a little bit. You know?
Right, exactly. Somebody just said Nika S said, that's true, Jay. A lot of girls, including myself, dressed like that back in the day. We thought they looked cute. I didn't never think, oh, she looked like a dude. She wearing a polo or a Tommy too. They had them little tatas up in there. It was all right.
I used to tell my mom to buy my pants like bigger than what they actually, so they could be baggy. Like and you can't go buy her wearing Timbs because she's from New York. That's what we do. We wear Timbs.
And we wore them in Chicago all the time.
Everybody wears Timbs.
True.
See, I'm from California, so women didn't have those kind of excuses. We had warm weather.
Yeah, y'all wore flip flops. Y'all ain't wear no y'all had them karate shoes. That's what I saw it. And I'm like, man, what the hell is this? You can fold the shoe up and what?
Yep.
My cousin's like, man, this is what we wear, cuz. I'm like, man, what the hell is this?
Yeah, man. Karate shoes, crocus sacks, flip flops. You know, I mean, sometimes, you know, for a few minutes, everybody was rocking wallabies for a little bit, but that was like a little bit. So.
Yeah, that's right. Y'all don't wear that, and it ain't no need unless you in construction.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We got snow and all kind of stuff we'll go through, so we started just, you know, making it part of the gear because you're gonna need something, you know, on your foot. So
Nike Cortez, people still rock those.
Wow. That's like track ones. Yeah. Woo. Yeah. So yeah, Chicago, we was rocking them too. So yeah, I feel you. While we still talking about them, one last thing. What's up now that her mama dead? She just got to know her. She did say some hurtful things. She may have meant it, but you never know, because what she said and did with Marvin, she meant it. And now look at him. Now she'll never have that chance. Gina, what you think about what happened with Mama getting popped, and how is that going to affect the family from moving forward?
I'm not sure if Juke's gonna blame herself like she reintroduced us to the family, because she was over in Harlem. They had nothing to do with each other, and she wouldn't have been there. But I thought that she was coming to talk about her. When I heard her say, "Oh, she assaulted one of my church members," I was like, "Lady, what's wrong with you?" Like,
I didn't pick up on that.
For you, what's wrong with you? And then when she said, "Get down," I've always heard "get down" as get down. Like the way that she ran inside, like she was all exposed. I was like, "What is wrong with you? You didn't get down?"
Right. She ain't had no.
I didn't understand that part. I was just like,
That's a good point, though. I missed. She said that she assaulted a church member.
Yeah, she was talking about her assaults in Corey. That's what she came there for.
Oh my God.
I don't think. I mean, I'm not gonna say Juke's not gonna miss her because that's apparent. But I mean, the woman has been out of her life for like all of 2 weeks. You know, she came back, was in her life for a couple weeks. Took her shopping, buying some clothes she didn't want, and then try to set her up with some dude to try and check her, and now she's dead. I think for Juke it might be easier this way. There's none of this. Where's my mom? Do I have to go try and work things out again? The mom starts showing up again. It's none of that. It's just like she's gone. It was like she disappeared on us. She came back. When she was back, she showed her ass, didn't accept me for who I was, and now she's dead. So what? Whatever.
Look how she stood up in the doorway, Jay. That's stupid. I've never heard get down, get up and run.
Right. That's why I was looking for this right here.
I didn't understand that. Yeah. And I felt so bad because Rock be so dirty. I rewinded it a couple of times to see if she was pulling her in, to cover herself. I feel bad about that.
This is what gets me too. Is like I don't know what I mean. I'm assuming that this chick grew up in New York. She has a baby by Marvin, so she's been dealing with those types of people for a long time. And I can tell you right now, every place I've ever been where there's been gunfire, soon as you hear it, the first instinct to do is duck. Is like you start ducking and looking around. Down. It's like she was like staying straight up, like I'm gonna come in for a cup of coffee. Why are you already not below that mailbox?
Right.
That's why I had to see if she did, like if she pulled her. I had to check because I was just like, wait, what? Why are you getting up? Like that's stupid.
Yeah, she was
so
worse.
That's why I went back to check. Like, why?
Right. She was worse than Ricky in Boys in the
Hood. Ricky thought he could outrun the those bullets like he outruns those he outruns those cornerbacks. Like, nah, bro.
Right. Oh, man, shoot, he should have jumped over the gate or something.
Yeah.
She should have definitely hit the deck. Like you say, her body should have at least been lower than this mailbox at this point. At least
Yeah.
an attempt. It looked like she was still upright. So she fell. She ain't get low till she was already gone.
This is the thing that gets me though. Rock this, and I hope we all can agree. Rock is not doing this for Kanan, and she's a terrible mother. I mean, we know good. She knew good and well that when she decided to go to war with these Italians and hit, that they were coming back and they were going to start shooting everybody, including their houses, their business. She knew that Kanan's out there trying to learn stuff. So could have been at the dope spot. He could have been at their house. He could have been anywhere that got hit. It just so happened that he was sneaking around behind her back and hanging out with his daddy, you know? And if he had not been sneaking around behind her back, he probably would have been somewhere and got hit. And she knew that he could have been in any of those places, and she didn't care. She only cares about herself, you know? And she didn't even care about the money, too. She just cares about, she wants to live that gangster lifestyle. Because if she even cared about money, she wouldn't have her money get up there getting eaten by rats.
That's true.
You know?
And she got enough money already. She paid for the house in cash. She got enough money. Like, that's a good question that we all should think about in life is how much is enough? How much do you really need? If you had this amount, would you chill or would you keep going?
Like if you know all this stuff is going down, your people are getting taken out, why not step aside? If somebody else wants to run the business, let them run it. Sell it to Unique, you know?
Right.
Let him do it.
Now you can really go legit.
Yeah. Like, you know that you had your sister and them down in North Carolina. You bought this nice house in this area, this neighborhood. You could stay there if you want to, but you could just sell the house, move down to North Carolina, get a nice little house out there with some property and be safe and happy and don't have to worry about any of that stuff. But she likes that gangster lifestyle. She wants to be out there. She wants to tell people how to move. She wants to put, she wants to try and prove like, look, I'm a woman that's in a man's world and I can do this and that. It's like, okay, we get that you could do it. But why?
Yeah,
but why?
Run it. You did, and you done it.
Yeah.
Move on while you alive and not in jail. You got shot. Gina, what you think about what Larry say? And then she got shot. Is that gonna change? Is she gonna double down? What?
I agree. It's just a power trip. Like, it's not about the money. It's not about the kid furthering your future. None of that. It's the power trip. Like, she just won it. From day one, she just wanted it. But when she got shot, I wasn't expecting that. I was like, ooh. But the after, I enjoyed it.
I don't think that bullet's gonna change her though, man. Because I feel like Marvin getting shot might change him because Marvin took a gut shot. He might have some issues. Like, he might be almost dead by the time he gets to a hospital. But looked like she got clipped in the shoulder. Looked like she might even got grazed. They didn't even see any blood splatter or anything. It looked like she just got clipped. I mean, that's not gonna do anything but make her mad.
She did face that barrel though and say, "Do what you got to do." So she knew when you looking at death in the eye. She did only get clipped, but she looked death in the eye. They did do a little too long and dramatic, but
see, that's why people need to hire professionals. You can't send out these yahoos from the neighborhood because he's going to sit up there and have his long dramatic pause and wait to get shot in the back. Nah, you go up in there and shoot up the whole place, lock the doors, light the place on fire and leave. You know? And
the same for her. Don't have 4 people in one car. Have them sitting on the porch. Have some upstairs. Have one on each corner. You know what I mean? I would have had 6 people. Y'all couldn't have rolled on this block without somebody knowing something.
How those dudes even roll up in their dope spot? This place is supposed to be on lockdown. How they even roll up?
Right.
Like the second these dudes came through the front door.
Right.
They should have had radios already. They should have had the radios telling them there's a hit. People are coming.
Right. From the rooftop. We see them parking, pulling up.
Yeah.
From the first floor. They running up here, running up to the thing. You know what I mean? That's a good point. That was her whole point, she said, to see the cops and everybody.
That we can see them from blocks away. So if you can see the cops from blocks away, you sure as hell can see a bunch of Italians pulling up with guns in their hands. You know?
That's true.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Now, this is the last thing before we get out of here. Shout out to everybody watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate it. Check out my man Larry's channel. You got the TIFL production. What's that, Larry?
Oh, it's my Today I Feel Like channel. So
all right. there you have it. Definitely go check my man's out and subscribe if you haven't already. This will be the last thing of the day, and it'll go back to a little bit about what Burke said, but then it's a little theory involved. So she said to Kanan, basically, your mama a snitch. She was the CI. So we know High Post got burnt alive for snitching. Then Rock really was the one where she was the real snitch and he took the rap and got burnt for that. And if the rap on the street, if it comes out that she was a CI and a snitch, is it over for her career in the future? Gina, what you think about that theory and what happened and what may happen if the word on the street is she was a snitch?
I think she's very fearful of it coming out that she was a snitch, because in her eyes, if she has the thought that you might snitch, you are gone. So for her to live like that, and then for her to come from that, like, you were a snitch,
That's
you were CI, but like, you were snitching on
because
things
she
that
is
you
scrappy like that.
on information that you were privy to. So how can you have, this set of rules for one group of people and you don't have the same set of rules for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think she's very fearful of that.
That's a good point. Good point. Larry, what you think about the snitching theory and what happened if the word on the street come out that she was a CI?
Yeah, I think first she'll lose her connect. They'll just be like, nah, not messing with you, And once you lose, I mean, if you don't have that work, no one's gonna be dealing with her anymore. So
business.
Even if she doesn't get killed, she's just gonna sort of fade away because your business is going downhill if you can't give your people that work. So
All right, what you think about her snitching? High Post to get burnt for snitching. Turn out she was a real snitch. Did he take the rap to save her? Or was it a coincidence that he was a snitch and maybe he put her on to being snitching?
I mean, it's hard to say because people in the streets always act like everyone's got all this honor, no snitching. Niggas be snitching left and right. You get a dude in jail and he's up there, he'll be 20 years old looking at doing a 10-year bid, and all of a sudden they'll say, if you tell on us, we can get you out of here in 18 months. Man, them dudes be snitching like crazy. And people snitching like all kinds. People sit up there listening to their cellmates tell stories and then they go talk about it.
Yeah, they do. They will if that could get their time reduction reduced. Yeah. What you think about Sam snitching? Got caught real quick. I used to be an accountant, Larry. Me. Yeah, I used to handle people's money.
Oh man.
We get one more hit, Larry.
Sam, I feel bad for Sam when he told his story. I was like, damn, man. I was like, this dude used to be an accountant, was a real dude, was an educated brother out there and just got messed up with those drugs. But it was unique. It was interesting when they sort of had Unique and Worrell talking, and you get to see how smart and observant Unique is. And he was like, think about what you said. It's all these old heads. Crack is played out. You don't see young people doing it. You only see these old heads doing it, and they're gonna age out of it. They're gonna age out because they're either gonna die or they're just gonna die. Right? But he was like, we gotta find something new. So
right. And Unique is actually 100% right, but he's ahead of his time because it didn't really go out to the pill stuff came. Where now,
but heroin kicked off though before
but it didn't
that.
happen to 2000.
Yeah.
So it's still in the early 90s. But he right. It's about 93.
Yeah.
So 7 years. That's when the heroin, started to come back. Because when crack was out, nobody was using heroin like that.
No.
And then crack faded out. But what I saw with Sam's story, that was real because a lot of those guys, they used to have good jobs and would use cocaine.
Yeah,
and that was a good job, rich man drug. A lot of the blacks that got their first jobs in downtown and in all these cities because you couldn't work downtown before because of segregation and stuff. So now they was the first. My dad was in the group of the first college educated, baby boomers going to that type of stuff. So they were making money, trying to live fancy and stuff, and a lot of that generation, they was on the powder, then it switched to the crack. They didn't know it would be that way, you know. And so they lost their jobs, families, everything, and they used to be people. So when I used to see them in our neighborhoods around and stuff, we used to remember they used to be this or that. And now when we was teenagers, they asking for change and stuff, and we'd be like, nobody my age would ever think about smoking crack. Never. We knew and saw. But now this younger generation, they do all kind of stuff, man. You know what I mean? Even our music, they wouldn't say do crack. They might say they'll sell it and make the money, but they weren't rapping about smoking it. They rap about using all this stuff now. So
these kids nowadays, they use every and anything they can get their hands on.
Man. They do. It's scary. I'm just so glad we didn't get into all of that, you know, because that stuff is strong, as you see, take a hold of you. So.
Yeah, I don't want any parts of that stuff, man. Just give me a couple beers and I'm good.
Yeah, I never, because of that experience of seeing that type of thing, I never wanted nothing to take me away from me. You know what I mean? A beer or something, whatever, a couple drinks. You good though, you know what I mean? Now, you can become an alcoholic, of course, or anything can be abused, but for the most part, it's not. You have to work to do that. Whereas with some of this stuff, you don't even have to try, and you'll get addicted. You know?
That's what I was gonna say. Unless you have a genetic predisposition for alcoholism, like alcoholism just doesn't happen. Like you don't just go get drunk one night and all of a sudden that's it for you. Like you have to put in the work to turn into an alcoholic. If you don't, unless you have just like that built into your system, and you know. But some of these drugs, boy, people take this stuff like you hear about people talking about smoking meth, and then they just can't stop.
Right.
You know?
One hit. They say one hit on some of this stuff one time. So Gina, what do you see out there in New York? I know it was rough on the streets in the 90s. Is it changing now? Did they clean it up a little bit?
Yeah, it's cleaned up. It's cleaned up. Harlem looks like a totally different place. But in the 90s, I lived in Harlem, and we go to school and go for recess, and you see like all the crack vials like in the yard.
Like New Jack City.
Yeah, like nobody came and cleaned that up. Like they had us playing out there and everything.
So what, they would just smoke it in the yard?
They would smoke wherever they were smoking. They would just toss the vials in there. Like they did it at the park. Wow. They leave like if the pipe was no more good, like they leave it, like just leave it out in the open.
Yeah, that's one thing. You notice different things, a little differences in certain things. So like in the movies, and then I see, I guess it was real, but you guys use the little glass tubes to do stuff, whereas in other cities they would just use like a little plastic Ziploc bag or something, you know. So that was real fancy, I thought, you know, with a glass vial type of thing. I mean, that's like, what were they being manufactured for anyway? Like, what did they say that was for? An earring? Straight drug, but just like the little bitty Ziploc bags that be this big. Like, what is that for? But anyway, man.
Yeah, I feel when I was coming up, I feel like I didn't know anybody personally that was like a crackhead. Because I feel like all the people that became crackheads were people that, like, you know, they started off doing cocaine and stuff, and they really got deep in their addiction, and they only moved to drugs like crack when they just couldn't afford that. They couldn't afford that powder anymore, and they still wanted to get high. But that was it. I didn't really. Yeah, I mean, I knew people who sold drugs, but I just didn't know people. I didn't know anybody who really used it like that. I feel like you were saying, people that were kind of like our age, we were like, I'm using a damn crack. You crazy?
No, hell no. There was everybody older than us at that time. It was nobody my age doing that. We actually were like really against that. They wasn't against selling it. They was against using it.
Yeah.
Right. But no, and the only crackheads we knew was the neighborhood crackheads, or, you know, the crackhead that'll fix your car for $20. You know, he'll pick up a whole engine for $20, you know. But no, that's about it.
So y'all knew the crackheads that were already crackheads?
Yeah, they was crackheads before we met them.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually,
knew
some of
some
them
that
knew
were,
before they
you know.
wasn't, but yeah, they were older than us rather. So some we knew used to be somebody or have a job, and now they are, and then some we didn't know. We just knew them as that way, but
Okay.
they were all older than us, you know, in their
Right.
40s or close to it when we was teenagers, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I've seen it both ways, the neighborhood and then knowing the person before and then them becoming.
yeah, see, like I said, I don't know anybody my age or friends. We just knew the older ones, and looking back at it now, we was rude and disrespectful a little bit. Look down on them some, which is bad, but we
You don't
kind
want
of
to look up to them.
far. Yeah, some people would really beat them and do a lot of stuff, but we didn't do that. But we might laugh or be like, "You stink" or something like that.
Right.
But you know, still get money and you fix my car. So anyway.
You can't do that anymore, boy. These new cars, you need a
I
computer
know,
to fix
right?
them.
Straight up. Damn sure ain't messing with mine now. But hey, man, this was great. Shout out to Kay Leezy, who had to leave early. So I hope you feel better with the throat. Yeah, Larry, great to have you back.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Glad to be back.
No problem. Welcome anytime. And my sister Gina over here, glad to have you as always.
Thanks, Jay.
No problem.
Have a great week, everybody.
Definitely. And everybody take care. I'll be back tomorrow after Lamont's show. So everybody come on through. And of course, you guys, if you want to, more than welcome to come back. And everybody, y'all have a good one.
Cool.
We out of here.
Bye.
Deuces.
Peace.